mountains and 8 seas make one world. 1,000 worlds make one chiliocosm. One chiliocosm to the power of 3, and there's nothing I can't cut.
So we now know that officially with Boruto episode 293 marks the end of part 1 in terms of the Boruto anime. Now, two different types of I don't know the proper word, so I'm gonna just say continuities just for namesake in this type of situation in terms of Boruto part 1 and Boruto part 2. Now, when people refer to as Boruto part 1 as current events still going on, even though we understand Boruto part 1 and the anime has ended, they're referring to the events that are happening or that are occurring prior to we see 16-year-old Boruto and 16-year-old Kawaki, not necessarily to that scene that we see in the first episode and the first chapter, but more so the events that take place during that time frame, meaning while Boruto is in that age group and Kawaki is in that age group of 16 and 17 years old. Now, despite the fact that even with the end of the Boruto anime within the last few weeks of part 1 for the anime officially ending, we understand part 2 will be returning, picking up after the events that are currently going down right now in the manga, meaning when we see Naruto, Shikamaru, and everybody head back to the Hidden Leaf Village after essentially Kawaki has killed Boruto and Boruto was revived by Momoshiki, expanding on his Karma Seal and fully stamping Boruto as 100% full-blooded Otsutsuki. So part 2 has a whole lot to pick up in terms of the story and just in terms of execution as well, depending on how they decide to return with the anime. Now, it's gonna be very safe to say that the next episode for the Boruto anime will take place picking up exactly right where we left off. Now, we understand there's a little bit of a switch up where we know when they head back to the village in the manga, Boruto and Kawaki don't essentially come face to face together until they start to get a new mission, and Shikamaru is debriefing the whole new Team 7 on this mission, with Boruto and Kawaki then being in the same room for the first time since Kawaki has officially killed Boruto. Now, we understand with the anime's original ending, Boruto and Kawaki have a discussion on the Hokage faces before said mission is even given to them, and they get the debriefing on the events to occur over the mission, and we see both of them make their declarations that tie heavily into the events that are occurring right now in the manga and events that we are currently looking forward to chapter after chapter and month after month. So their declarations stamp their stances that we see the events being unfolded right now in the manga, and we see that being made vocal by both Kawaki and Boruto, with Boruto swearing that he's going to prove the prophecy, Momoshiki giving him wrong, and Kawaki swearing that he's not going to let anything take his everything away, i.e. his everything being Naruto Uzumaki, the Lord Hokage. Now, when do we expect part 2 Boruto to return? Now, we don't have no confirmation date. I don't want anybody to get the wrong idea, but based off of the events in the announcement that has been circulating around the community, it's kind of safe to say we can get a generalizing idea, right, of when we should expect the anime to return. So just looking at all of the things that they are doing surrounding the Boruto franchise as a whole, we know the Naruto Popularity Bowl with the winner getting its own manga. We understand my guy Minato, and I did go on that website a few times and voted for my big dog Minato, because in terms of wanting to see a character's backstory versus my favorite, because if it was just favorite, Sasuke would have been at the top of that poll, definitely. But I voted for Minato a couple of times, and I even voted for Shishu, I believe one time. But I'm really excited. I'm really happy that my guy Minato is going to get the shine that he actually deserves. People are slowly coming to light and saying that he is kind of overrated, which is baffling to me, because if that's the case, I feel like y'all just need to go back, rewatch whatever you did in your first go around when it comes to Naruto franchise and see really how much of a dog my guy Minato really is. So big ups to Minato, shout outs for winning the first place spot, and I'm really looking forward to Kishimoto dropping this one-shot manga. Now, based off of the words that Kishimoto has given at the end results of the poll, he has already been in the works of the Minato manga, and he actually ended up making more pages for the story than he intended, and the story itself will revolve around the creation of a secret jutsu. Now, I want to say it's most likely going to be the Rasengan, because we know Minato didn't create the Flying Rasen. He just updated it, or I should say evolutionized it, kind of like what Naruto did with Minato's Rasengan, making the Rasen Shuriken, because we understand the second Hokage is the original creator of the Flying Thunder God, and then Minato just upgraded it to the Flying Rasen. Now, in terms of time frames, when we come to anime releases, manga releases, or any type of things of that sort, when it comes to the announcements being made, whenever they say soon, it's safe to say at the bare minimum, half a year, or I would say a couple of months. I don't want to sound too harsh or too cruel, but I would say 3 to 4 months at the bare minimum is there soon. So I would believe, since it's so emphasized on the manga being released soon, and it's already clear that Kishimoto is not only done with the story, but ended up making more content for the story than he actually intended, it's safe to say that right now they're just probably getting all of the small details in works and just making sure everything is polished and ready for official release. So by the end of the year, I am pretty confident in this manga being released for Minato. Anything else other than that, I see people talking about an anime being built around it, or possibly expanding, even making it a mini manga volume, so probably even 1 through 4 chapters for this one shot. But it's safe to say it's probably just going to be a real long chapter, similar to how a couple of the things that Kishimoto did in his one shots in the past. But y'all probably thinking, like, how does this even relate to Boruto and the part 2 of the anime coming back, right? So with the official announcement of Boruto episode 293 being the end of part 1, we understand that in accordance with the Naruto announcements as well, but separate from the the Naruto top 99 poll, is that it was announced that starting in this September, a new anime project will begin. 4 episodes total planned in the celebration of the 20th anniversary for Naruto. Now, why is this good news for the Boruto franchise? Because it's already given a date. So that means one of two things. Either A, it's already finished, or the production for the anime, the 4 episode anime, is getting close to done, and they're just going over the final touches and making sure everything is ready for official release when this 4 episode anime drops. Now, will it be simultaneously and they drop all 4 episodes at once? We don't even know what platform it's going to be on, so it's hard to even assume or to take that type of guess right now. But the most important thing to look at is the September date. Now, we have a date. Now, why is this important? Because when we got Kishimoto talking about the manga and talking about how it's coming soon and he's already finished the story, ended up making more content than originally planned, they still don't even have a date for us yet. And it's safe to assume that they're more than finished with the story itself, versus probably like the ins and outs, like I said, the in between the lines, and essentially probably the art for the manga itself. But we don't have a date, regardless of how much progression has been put onto that works. And we already have the official date renouncement, not the exact date, but the month of September, with this 4 episode anime project to be released. So it's pretty safe to say production has guaranteed, probably more than likely already started and nearing its finishing touches as we speak. So with this anime actually coming out in September and likely ending in September's 4 episodes, whether it be simultaneously, they drop it all at once, it will be over in September, or they drop an episode a week, which was most likely to be expected, it will be ending by the end of September. And then the rumor circulating the end of part 1 Boruto always stuck around the whole 4 to 6 month time frame, where some people are pushing for more, but more so leaning on rumors or he say she say, and some people even saying possibly 3 months would be the maximum we get for the Boruto anime break. But it's pretty convenient for this anime to be released for the Naruto anime project, and we understand the rumors around the Boruto hiatus have been slated for up to 6 months now, understanding September will mark 6 months from April, right? So give or take, by the end of September, it will be about 7 months going on to 8 months without the Boruto anime. So it will probably be a safe space, right? A safe area for them to pick back up the anime. And I believe it might be in the game plan to, once the last episode of this 4 episode anime project drops with the Naruto 20th anniversary celebration. Mind you, this is probably like the 3rd or 4th 20th anniversary celebration, but I ain't gonna say nothing about it. But with the end of the episode run in September, it will just be doors open in terms of bringing back the Boruto anime, with most people believing the max for the hiatus would be 6 months. In September time, we're going to be pushing that 7-month time period. So them allowing all of this time, with they already giving us the confidence of a release date in September for this Naruto anime project, meaning that a lot of people would take to believe that these few months they're taking off would go towards the efforts in making sure that project is done done, whereas most likely the project has already been taking a priority in the previous months before the announcement even been made. So now they're genuinely just taking the time on working on the code arc, making sure the last few episodes of the code arc is officially like done well, right? Because we understand there's still events to go down to officially end the code arc in the anime versus the point that they decided to cut off in episode 293. So there's still a whole lot to go about that, right? But just in general, right, if we're to expect a 6-month hiatus, it's pretty safe to say that the anime will be coming back after this 4-episode project is released for Naruto's 20th anniversary celebration and it comes to a close. So maybe looking around October, November, even the end of the year, December. But that's just me being hopeful. So a more likely or a more realistic scenario I can imagine is a Jump Festa announcement in December 2023, announcing the return of the Boruto anime in January, probably maybe even leading on into early 2024, not necessarily just January, February, maybe even March, which kind of sounds like bad when you look at it on the surface level. But then you think, okay, all of this time to, you know, not just up the production, but just to, you know, up the quality and the care that is going to be put into the animation and into the drawings. I believe it's going to be a pretty good idea and to go either or route. So I'm really excited to see how things play out. But if we're talking about a 6-month hiatus, October, November, December, somewhere in that time frame, right? But then if we want to be more realistic based off of the previous history of Boruto, maybe even getting an announcement announcing the return of the anime by the end of the year, having the anime return at the start of the new year. So it's going to be real interesting to see how this goes for the return of Boruto Part 2. But for right now, I know me and everybody else is itching for Boruto Chapter 80 to drop as per the recording of this video. It's your boy Black Chair 3 long for your skinny body. Holla at your boy. I'm gonna holla at y'all. Black Chair out. Yes, sir. Ski.
Hey, can we take a trip to the sky? Show them that our limit's too high.
Cocoa butter hips on the west side. She said